What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. So we just finished live streaming the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event in Perth, Australia. And you know what time it is? It's time to get that review in and get me a nap, okay? Because I'm kind of tired. But before we get started, hit that subscribe button. And I also want to give a special thank you to a member of the wrestling family, KD Nation, bro. Thank you so much for watching my live stream with the Flex Zone podcast. I greatly appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. To wake up that early in the morning, bro, is maniacal. And then to not brush your teeth and wash your face and watch it, I'm just playing. But just to show up, bro, I do appreciate that. And salute to the Flex Zone podcast for having me once again. It's always a ton of fun to be on their stream. If you didn't watch it, click the live tab on the channel and watch it there. I can't wait to see you guys in the next stream. But without further ado, let's get into the reason why you clicked this video. So let's start off with the first match on the card, and it was the ladies. Ladies first, we had the women's Elimination Chamber match. Now, one of the main things I will say about this match is the ending was pretty predictable. And you're probably going to hear that a lot on this review. And I think most people knew that Becky Lynch was going to win. Although in my prediction, I did say that I thought that Liv Morgan and Becky would do some type of double pin to send both of them to WrestleMania. But in my heart of hearts, I was hoping they did something that wasn't predictable, and also to show some love to the Becky fans and to the Liv fans and just do something interesting. But they didn't do that. So it is what it is. And the result is what it is. It doesn't bother me that much. But I will say this. The match itself was pretty okay. All right. It wasn't terrible. It was pretty okay. And I wish they would have done a lot more spots and a lot more creative spots, as opposed to recycling some things that most people do at Elimination Chambers. I do understand that you only could do so much there, but given the talent that you had in the ring, there's so many possibilities. And that's what made me excited about this match. You got Tiffany Stratton, okay? Tiffy time. You got Bianca Belair. Whoosh, and you got Becky Lynch. You got so many other people. Raquel Rodriguez, which I'm happy she's in this because, you know, she had her ailments, and for her to bounce back and be in a pay-per-view, good for her. I'm happy for her. Naomi, who just got back in another pay-per-view, like the list goes on. So, and I know some people will say, well, those individuals aren't as talented as the other one, but they can help make great spots with the other people. I mean, Naomi did have a great spot with Liv Morgan, where Tiffany Stratton did pin Naomi at that point, but I felt like they could have did a little bit more, just in my personal opinion. Not a whole lot, not a spot fest, but just sprinkle a little bit more on there at the end of the day. But I thought the match itself was pretty decent. And one of the weird parts was when the match first started, we had Naomi versus Becky Lynch one-on-one to start off the Elimination Chamber match. And it just looked kind of sloppy. Like there was something off. Either somebody was missing cues or something was happening. It wasn't terrible, but it was really obvious that something was off or someone was off at that point. And I don't think it was Becky Lynch. I'm more inclined to believe that it was Naomi, and not that she was a bad wrestler. It's just, I believe that it has to do with nerves, right? This is her second big pay-per-view in a row since coming back to WWE. So I'm sure that that can have something to do with it. And she did look great at the Royal Rumble, but it's a different monster of wrestling someone one-on-one in the ring, where the mistakes are, you know, exacerbated, as opposed to being in the ring with 4, 5, 6, 7 other people. So at the end of the day, I feel like the match was just okay. I go into these pay-per-views, especially when they have these men's and women's matches, expecting the women's match to be the top two, maybe the best match of the night. And maybe to some people it is, but for me, I felt like it was just okay. So moving on to the next segment of the night, and that was the Grayson Waller effect. This whole thing that they've been advertising everywhere. What's going to happen? What's they going to say? What they're going to talk about? So he had Austin Theory come out and introduce the host of the show, obviously Grayson Waller, and then Grayson Waller introduced the guest, which was who I like to call the Super Saiyan Pastor, Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And to be honest with you, if you watch this channel, I'm fairly optimistic. I'm fairly, you know, positive about a lot of stuff, but I can't be that about this, bro. I'm not gonna, outside of the fact that Grayson Waller is from Australia, I don't even know why this even happened. I don't even know why it even happened on a paper. It could have been on YouTube. It could have been on Fubo. It could have been on Tubi. It could have been on Hulu. It could have been on Vudu. They could have tweeted this. They could have sent us a text message. This could have been an email. This could have been in the pre-show, because the whole thing that happened here was just them confirming that Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes were working together. We didn't need a whole segment to tell us that. And here's the part that I didn't understand. Last night, we saw Roman Reigns tell Paul Heyman and them to bring Grayson Waller into the office. So if that's going to happen, nothing materialized in that segment to show his association with the bloodline. In fact, when Austin Theory starts stripping like he's Magic Mike or something like that, and Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins started stumping the mess out of him, Grayson Waller stepped back and just watched it, which is an interesting seed to have them two kind of have a feud. But what was the point of that thing with Grayson Waller last night? I don't understand how that even ties to this. Like it just didn't make any sense at all, in my personal opinion. And also, ultimately, I just feel bad for the people in Australia. They haven't had a WWE show there in about 5 years. They spent their hard earned money to go there. There's 70,000 plus people in attendance. They probably drove a long way to go to that stadium. For them to get a chunk of their pay per view taken out because of this segment, and they could have replaced it with a match that made more sense. I don't get it. And it would have been a perfect opportunity if Roman Reigns did talk to Grayson Waller, and since Austin Theory was there, they could have attacked Cody and Seth, and maybe Jay would have came out and helped, or maybe Jimmy would have came out to aid in the attack, and then Jay would. It's so many things that could have came out of that. And I know The Rock couldn't be there. He announced it last night on Perth. I mean, last night on SmackDown. But at least they could have did like a pre-recorded thing on the screen to address Cody and Seth. They could have did so many things, but it was just like I don't understand it, bro. It just filled up a spot just because Grayson Waller is from Australia, right? That's just you gonna do that to your own people, Grayson, bro. That's just messed up, bro. But anyways, let's move on to the next match, and it was the tag team match for the undisputed tag team championship belts. At this point, WWE, we either going to have to unify those titles or split them up completely, bro. The two titles being around people, it's getting old, all right. And I want a new design for the tag titles anyway, so let's please get that done. But ultimately, this match was pretty fun. It was better than I thought it would be. I thought that maybe there would be some R-Truth involvement in this, but it wasn't. And the cool part was that Dominic Mysterio came out and was like, "Hey, I heard those rumors about y'all saying that my boos are piped in, but ain't nothing." He came out and all of Australia started booing like crazy. He like, "You hear that? That's non-GMO, bro. Ain't no plastic surgery. This they hate me, bro. They really hate me, bro, and I'm proud of it." And I thought that was dope to showcase that. But you had some great spots in this match as well. Um, I saw Finn Balor's fingers. It looked kind of weird. I don't know if Peter Dunn or Peter Dunn, Pete Dunn did that to his fingers, but we had the tag team match between Judgment Day and the New Catch Republic, and obviously the Judgment Day won. And we thought it was fairly obvious. I didn't think they're gonna lose those tag titles until WrestleMania, which in my personal opinion will probably get a Damian Priest to be like, you know what, I'm getting tired of this. Tonight, I'm going to cash in. I think that's what's going to happen at WrestleMania, in my personal opinion. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. All right, so the match after that was the men's elimination chamber match, which in my personal opinion was a little better. Was better actually than the women's elimination chamber match, right? Because they had moments in here which I thought was very interesting. A lot of the men stayed in the ring for a long time, and for some reason, people felt the need to climb on top of the pods and chant or cheer or taunt when they first came into the ring. And the funny part, when Kevin Owens came out, he looked like he was juiced on something because this man was banging his head against the glass trying to come after Logan Paul. But at the end of the day, we had some great spots. The way that it ended was very interesting. Again, another predictable result. But to see AJ Styles come out and attack LA Knight, I knew AJ Styles or Karrion Kross was going to come out, but I thought they were going to go after Bobby Lashley. But for AJ Styles to come out and attack LA Knight with a chair and bend that chair up, I was like, oh, that's pretty crazy. And you got to remember when Randy, AJ, and LA Knight was having their thing with Roman Reigns, the two guys that was beefing the most, that was on site every time they see each other, AJ Styles and LA Knight. And AJ Styles ain't let go of nothing, bro. He's still he on Drew McIntyre mode, bro. You make me mad one day, I'm mad at you for the rest of my life. And that looks like it's gonna set up that match between those two at WrestleMania. And I get it. I agree. It would be cool to see LA Knight go after the US title against Logan Paul to put a title on this man's waist. But this can also be an interesting match. You got AJ Styles that's pretty good in the ring. You got LA Knight that's really good on the mic. So they can balance each other out and create a great feud. And maybe they'll use that to elevate LA Knight. And maybe we'll see a match where he wins the title at SummerSlam. So let's just see how it is. I like to call Triple H the slow cooker booker. So let's let him cook and book this whole thing out. And the other part that was interesting was Logan Paul taking out the brass knuckle and giving Randy Orton that right hook, which looks like it's going to be setting up a triple threat match between him and Kevin Owens, since they got some unfinished business, and Randy Orton, which I think will be a pretty good match at the end of the day. I think it'll be a fantastic match. Logan Paul is a natural, right? You got a KO who's just, he don't look like it, but he's that guy as far as his size, right? And then you got Randy Orton. Of course, whenever his presence is in the ring, he adds so much value to the match just by him being there. So I'm kind of excited. I'm really excited about that as well. But at the end of the day, after Logan Paul hit Randy with the right punch, and I thought it was funny when Logan took out the brass knuckles and caught the RKO. The camera work in that moment was hilarious. And to have Drew McIntyre pin and win, it was predictable. Great for Drew McIntyre, and he will be facing Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. And what I think is going to happen, guys, just to predict it out really quick, I think he's going to win against Seth Rollins if they do that tag match because Seth has to have his match against Drew. So if night one he main events against if they do that tag team with him and Cody Rhodes versus The Rock and Roman Reigns, which it looks like is going to happen, in that second match he's going to be too tired, and then Drew McIntyre is obviously going to win. And then Damian Priest, I believe, is going to cash in that Money in the Bank contract on him at WrestleMania. If not, on Monday Night Raw. But at some point, he's going to cash it in on Drew, and that's going to start a feud between those two, which I think we're going to get some really, really good matches out of that. And then we have the final match of the night, the main event, and that is Nia Jax versus Mommy Rhea Ripley. And it was a decent match. I think, as I looked at it, I'm like, well, this is just a match just to showcase Rhea Ripley's strength. And that's what happened. She superplexed Nia Jax off the top of the rope to finish the match and then put her in some weird pose, like some OnlyFans type of pins that she always do to people. And she ended up winning the match. Like nobody thought that Nia Jax was winning this. Rhea Ripley was there. Her family is there. They were in Australia. There was no reason to believe that she was going to lose that match at all. So I just really wasn't invested in the match as much. But it was a pretty decent match and probably a good look for Nia Jax at the end of the day. But if you guys have watched the Elimination Chamber, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm sorry that I'm rushing through this, but I need to take a nap, bro. I got up early in the morning to watch this thing. I feel like overall the show was just okay. I can't help but feel for the people in Australia. I felt like they could have been given a little bit better than what they got. They've been waiting this long for a show from WWE, and I don't feel like that. It's just I don't know. It just don't feel like it was fair to them. But that's just what happens. You go to a pay per view, you roll the dice. It could be good, it could be bad. I guess that's life. It is what it is. But dang, I can't help but feel for them. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Salute, peace, have a good day.